And for this week's Hidden History, we take a look at a New York man who played a big role in national politics and the local community. Here's Joe Kelly.
In the middle of the 19th century, Utica, New York was one of the political power centers of the entire country. Three of the nation's top political leaders called Utica their hometown. Horatio Seymour, one of the nation's top Democrats, who was the party's presidential candidate, was from Utica. Roscoe Conkling, the United States Senator for New York, was also from Utica. He was a political power behind President Ulysses S. Grant. And the third part of that powerhouse group was Francis Kernan. Kernan was born in the Finger Lakes region of New York State in 1816. His father was a general in the Irish Rebellion who fled the British Isles and came to the United States. The younger Kernan was a graduate of Georgetown University and sat law in Watkins Glen before moving to Utica to continue his legal education in the office of Joshua Spencer. Kernan was admitted to the bar in 1840 and entered into a partnership with Spencer. The law firm of Spencer and Kernan was regarded as one of the top in the country. In fact, the firm was so highly regarded that federal court judge Alfred Conkling sent his youngest son, Roscoe, to Utica to learn law there. Kernan was regarded as a master of the letter of the law, finding elements and interpretations of the law in the best interest of his clients. In 1843, Kernan married Hannah Devereux, daughter of prominent Utican Nicholas Devereux. Kernan became immersed in the community. He was a longtime member of the Utica School Board and was also involved with the state hospital and the female orphan asylum. Later, when his political days were gone, Kernan served on the State Board of Regents. Produced with the cooperation of the United County History Center, I'm Joe Kelly, and this is Hidden History.